Hi, I'm Dr. Mike Price with Koca Chiropractic Clinic. This week's webinar, we're going to talk about the flu. We're in flu season right now, much like we have deer season and pheasant season and things. We also have a flu season, which is kind of funny. It comes through October, typically towards the end of winter, January, February, and March, depending on what part of the country you're in. But we always seem to have this flu season that goes on. So we're going to talk about the flu this week. So the first thing I want you guys to understand about the flu. There's about 900 roughly different strains of the flu. In any one year, the powers that be have counted up to about 860 some different strains of the flu. So we rounded up, there's about 900 of them out there. So what's interesting about it is that all these little guys that we're finding in these little flu strains is that when we talk about how do we get sick with the flu, or how do we become ridden with this flu? Well, we've got to look at how our body works in the beginning, in the first place. Number one, it's our immune system. How does our immune system battle these guys? How do we take care of these little viruses? Well, our body takes these viruses in through our mucous membranes, whether it's down through our throat, in through our mouth, breathing it in, through our skin. Our body takes these things in. We've got this mechanism in our body, our brain, which controls and coordinates everything in our body, and it recognizes that there's this invader in our body. So what it does is it creates an immune response to it. Our immune system identifies it, creates what are called antibodies towards it, and then those things consume it and get rid of it. It also makes a copy of those antibodies so they can remember the next time this thing shows up. That's how our immune system works. So when we have these viruses, each year, when we look at how the medical community goes to battle with the flu every year, they pick out 3. Now remember, I said there are about 860, about 900 of these flu viruses floating around us all the time. And they pick 3 to put into the flu vaccine. We won't get into detail on the flu vaccine and with that, but I just want you guys to understand there are 3 viruses that they choose to incorporate into the flu vaccine out of 900. Just think about that for a second. So with these flu vaccines, when we get the flu, typically about 80% of the flu symptoms or flu-like symptoms are not the actual flu. They're your body's response to these little invaders coming into us, okay? So there are many of these things that can go on that are not the actual flu. It's just simply your body's immune system responding to something going on inside of you. Now these flu vaccines, in 2012 the flu shot has the A California 7-2009 H1N1-like virus. Long name for simply, it's similar to the H1N1 strain that we had just a few years ago. It also has the Victoria-like virus and also with the Wisconsin one. So those are the 3 out of about 900 that they chose this year to incorporate into the vaccine. Interesting that the FDA says there's always a possibility of less than optimal match between the virus strains predicted to circulate and the virus strains that end up causing the most illness. Okay, so let's think about that. So when I talked about the immune system to start with, the immune system has to create a response when these viruses or bacteria, anything that's foreign that comes into our body, through our membranes, through the normal way that comes into our body responds to it. So what's interesting about the flu vaccine is that is directly put into our bloodstream. Now let me say that again. It's put directly into our bloodstream, which means it bypasses the normal way that these viruses come into our body. Our body doesn't have any way of basically recognizing these viruses then when it's put into our blood. It bypasses the normal way it comes into our body, so it can't make a proper response. The immune system then has to somehow try to figure out where this stuff came from, and it has a very hard time doing it, okay? Because it hasn't come through the normal systems. It's almost like if you've got a penitentiary, and they've got all these walls up, and they've got these guards that are up on the walls looking at everything, and they're used to these, people. Now normally I'm going to use this as an example, or let's not use a penitentiary. Let's say this is a castle, because most of the time people are trying to break out of penitentiaries. Castles are trying to break in. So let's use that. We've got these guards up on the castle walls looking out over and watching people try to come in over the walls and then break in. Okay, so they can recognize it, they can figure out and create a response or figure out how they need to battle these people trying to come in. Well, think about it this way with the flu shot is they're digging tunnels underneath and then coming up underneath in the middle of the castle. So they're bypassing the normal way. These people that are up there, these guards that are trying to protect the castle, they don't know anything's coming in. They can't figure this out. They don't know where they're coming from until they're already in there, and then they've got a problem. So this is very similar. It's kind of a rudimentary way of describing that, but that's how our body tries to respond to these, and it doesn't know how to properly do it. And that's why when we look at this, we can have a lot of problems that can occur because our body doesn't know how to properly respond to it. What's funny is those people that do get the shot, most of them are the people that get the flu every year. The ones that actually get the flu shots are the ones that get the flu. Because again, this virus is put into our body through an abnormal means or an abnormal way the body normally takes it in, and our body can't properly respond to it. So the body doesn't know how to respond, and it can be overtaken or affected by these flu viruses that are put in there. So just something for you guys to think about. If you have more questions, obviously, please let us know. Contact us at wellnessnebraska.com on our website, or simply shoot us an email on there. Our email addresses are all on the website. You can ask the doctor on there. There's lots of cool stuff and lots of information. Check out our videos and everything else we have there. But please, guys, do your research. Do it before you go and get one of these flu shots. I didn't get into a lot of what's in the flu vaccine as far as other things going on, the adjuvants and stuff added. I just wanted to make this short and simple, just a way for you guys to start the conversation of what's really going on with this stuff. Why do we have to do these things? Isn't our body supposed to be designed to be able to battle these on its own? Yes, they are. So if you guys have more questions, please let us know. We'd love to help you guys out and love to talk to you. Have a great day.